Good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're calling from. This is your girl, Carla, with Conversations with Carla, and I'm glad you're tuning in because I have a delightful guest on the show today. She is like the triple threat to me. She has done so much and has impacted her community in the beautiful parts of Canada. Oh my goodness. I want to welcome Vicki Olantundun on our show. Welcome to the show, Vicki.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning, this afternoon, and this evening for many of our listeners that's listening in on our show. Our show is geared to our young people to motivate and uplift, and stories are so infectious. I like to tell people that when God ministers to his people, he shares so many stories. He spoke in parables. And so it's so important as believers and as followers that not only we continue to share those, but also to share them also with our young people. We don't want them to miss out on God's blessings on our lives. Now, Vicki, you have a nice report in your community going on. You have done some amazing things. I show here that you are you're the executive director of, is it Steinbach?
Yeah, the Steinbach Family Resource Center, yes.
Awesome. And that's a family resource center in Canada, right? That's where you're from?
That is right. I'm originally from London, England, but I live in Canada now. So, in Manitoba, Canada, in Steinbach.
Awesome. And another surprising thing that I did not know at all is that you're a former criminal law attorney. Wow. I had
that
no
is correct.
clue.
That is correct. That's absolutely correct.
Wow. Okay. And then I understand very recently you were invited to a speaking event, and it was a pretty well-known speaking event. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, in Manitoba, in Winnipeg, the capital city of Manitoba, we have an event called She Day. It's a big event. It's an event that over 1,500 professional women are invited to. So I was invited to come and speak at that event, and it was quite the day.
Wow. How many people were in attendance?
About 1,500 women.
Oh, wow.
There are a few men as well, but about 1,500 women.
Wow, that's amazing. I want to talk a little bit about your heart with your Steinbach Family Resource Center. I've known you for quite some time, and I know your heart, and you're so passionate to a fault, like passion is your name.
Yeah, I'm a passionaholic. That's what they call me.
Yes. And you wear it well. Can you share with me about Family Resource? Like, how did that all started? Why is it so important in your community?
Well, I joined the team in 2012. I had come from working for a homeless shelter for 6 years prior to that, and I joined this Family Resource Center. And it attracted me primarily because of the distance, because of where it was in the beginning, because I had moved homes and I moved to another city. And so I thought, well, I'd like to work somewhere close by, not too far away. And when I got there, it was quite a shock, because it was a little shack somewhere. Nobody knew what it did or what it did for the community. I spent a long time telling folks I worked at this new place, and no one knew where it was. It was called a different name at the time. And what got me was the fact that it was looking after expectant families, so families that were just turning pregnant until the child was 6 years old. So I saw it as a huge opportunity to impact a new generation from the ground up. So right now in my center, I have the graduating class of 2035.
Wow.
And that really intrigues me, the fact that I get to touch a generation that hasn't yet arrived and begin to make a difference right from the get-go. That completely touches my soul. And so we do all kinds of things with new parents and young children. We start teaching them victory from the get-go, right from day one. So as we have them at the center, they come for classes here and there in the week during the center, during the activities we do. We teach them things that will educate, that will empower them. The center is absolutely gorgeous because we want them to see amazing things. We want them to see things and desire great things for themselves, and we educate and prepare them for kindergarten so that when they go there with their best foot forward, everything we can possibly provide and supply. And I'm passionate about that because I really believe that early intervention is key. And if I can get a young child to believe victory from day one, it's going to go through life believing that victory is its destiny. And so that really is what intrigues me about it.
That is awesome. Yeah, I remember seeing the pictures of your foundation and, your organization, seeing how God had poured into with the build and supplying pretty much all of your needs and for your community as well. I remember the playground being built and all of these wonderful things. How's that going so far?
Well, the playground, we're right in the middle of writing curriculum. What we did with the playground was we combined play and road safety.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure that most people understand that every 24 seconds in the world, someone is killed by a motor vehicle. And 49% of those killed are children. And so we wanted to find a way to help create a new road safety culture from the ground up. And so we decided to build this play park, and it's looking amazing. Right now, it's buried under snow right now, but come spring, we're getting young children, grade 1s, kindergartners, to come to the park and play and learn the rules of the road. Basically, 3 things: how to walk smart, hold hands, and buckle up when they're in a vehicle. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Not only are you the director of Steinbach, but you're also a former attorney, and you're also a speaker as well. That's why I mentioned the leadership event that you were at, and you were able to give a phenomenal speech. You're also a speaker. Do you travel? How long have you been speaking, and has speaking opened up the door for you where you're able to travel outside of Canada? What type of new adventures you have going on for yourself?
Well, the thing is, I speak for a living because obviously I do a lot of presentations for the nonprofit. As anyone who knows how a nonprofit works, is you basically go into the arena of business in the corporate world and you present your cause or a case for your cause, and you raise funds that way. So I speak a lot that way in terms of business, everyday business, but also I get the opportunity to impact women, children, youth, and corporate. And I do get a chance to travel every now and then. Recently, I'm preparing for an event in South America come fall this year. I've traveled to the UK, and I speak in various places in Canada. So it's been an opportunity to travel, but also, more importantly, an opportunity to impact. I recently heard the new definition of the word billionaire, and I want to be one. And the new definition of billionaire is how many people you can touch and impact. That's the kind of billionaire I want to be. And speaking opens up those kind of opportunities because I speak in schools, I speak in colleges, I speak to corporate business, speak to women's groups. And so, it's been quite the opportunity, and I love to do it. But most importantly, because of what speaking can do, it can literally change a person's life. Sometimes you hear something in a certain way, and it gets you a certain way, and you begin to think about it, and you change. Right. That's really what's about it. But, yes, it opens a lot of doors,
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so our listeners on our show, range in between the ages of starting as young as 16 on up. And there's a lot of unfortunate things that's going on in the world. For instance, what happened in Florida, and it's devastating. What type of plans, or are there any type of new agendas that you're adding to your organization to help expose, the problem and to help guide our students and our youth, our children through, these worldly events, unfortunately?
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. There's only so much one can do.
Right.
But I will say this, that community is a huge thing, and we all live in a community. And it takes all of us as a whole to get to the future and win.
Right.
And the thing about it is, right from kindergarten, children are usually friendly. They're usually friendly to each other. They usually care about what happens to each other. And as we get older, we begin to go into groups and cliques and things like that. And then, of course, we begin to separate.
Right.
One of the things that I have known to be true is just like a sports team. Not everyone on the sports team is gifted in the same way, but we're all family.
Right.
Which is why I love the Family Resource Center, because it doesn't matter if the people that come in can speak English, whether they're from a new country, whatever it is, everyone brings something. And it makes our family richer when we can embrace what that is. And the thing is, when we find that we have something in our park, it's an orange bench, the buddy bench. Sometimes our kids are not able to articulate what is wrong. But if they go and sit on the buddy bench, we know we need to reach out to them.
Right.
And sometimes they're not of speaking age, and sometimes the mom just can't really say or explain what's the matter. But if she's on the buddy bench, that's a sign to say that we need to rally around, we need to help, we need to encourage, and to speak to. And I think everyone gives up a sign of some sort.
Mhm. Right.
When you suspect that something is wrong, something is the matter, things are as business as usual, then we have an opportunity to intervene, to find out, can we help? Is everything okay?
Right.
I mean, I remember when I worked for the homeless, one of the things that the homeless said to me that has touched my heart to this day, they say, Vicki, the thing that hurts the most is that people walk past us like we don't even exist, like we're not there. So no one cares. I remember one of our clients said that he was on his way to go kill himself, actually, when somebody said, good morning, hi. And just the fact that he mattered to another human being stopped him in his tracks.
Right.
And what did that take? Hi, how are you? Is everything okay? Are you fine? If you notice that something is not as usual, it's your opportunity to intervene and say, hey, is everything okay? Can I help? And if you don't want to get involved, you can always tell someone. There's always authorities, friends, other people that can intervene and help as well. Because each one, we're all a community, we're all a family. We all belong to the human family. And when one is lost, we all lose.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah, totally. My goodness. Yes, it does. When I was taking my kids to school this morning, I had just told them, you know what, just smile at someone. Even if you don't feel comfortable going up to them, hugging them, just smile. Because sometimes, like you said, that smile or that good morning or how are you doing can be the turnaround that person needs before they go into destruction. You just never know. And I think a lot of our young people are just missing out on love. I truly believe it's just love that needs to be added to it. It's not more medication. It's not more, oh, we need to add this, we need this, we don't have this. I think it's total. I think it's just love. And, unfortunately, prayer is no longer in schools anymore, and a lot of things have changed, since I was in school. And I know love is the biggest attribute that needs to be addressed.
You're right. I think everybody needs to belong.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to belong to something or someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that sense of being alone in a world that's filled with 7 billion people can be daunting.
Right.
Everyone wants to belong to something or belong to someone. And when you feel like you're by yourself, you're on your own, no one understands, no one gets this, I'm the only one in my box, only one in my category, only one of my type, that's when destructive behavior begins. But when you realize you belong to a team, you belong to a club, you belong to a class, you belong to a family, you belong to someone, then, of course, there's an opportunity for you to engage because, of course, there are others who understand where you're at and understand who you are, who claim you as theirs.
Right. Right. You also... Yeah, that is so true. I mean, even I remember that vividly growing up, when I felt like I didn't belong, and when nobody really reached out to me to hear how I felt about certain things, it became, you become distant. You don't want to communicate. You don't want to talk, and had my mother or had the church or people who believed in me never, stop calling me or inquiring about what's Carla doing, how's she doing, or attending my track meets and such, no telling how things would have ended up for me as well. But it's so important to touch and reach out to our young people and to people in general. Like you said, the homeless man, sitting there and people just walking past him or her like they don't even exist. So I appreciate that, and I hope my listeners are taking notes and want to, make simple changes, simple steps on, helping someone out. People think you need money to help change, but sometimes just your smile, most of the time, your smile and asking someone how are they doing is all they need. I also want to go into your fantastic book. Like, your book is amazing. I must say, when I first received it, I was like, I'm not having fertility issues, but your book is like the book. Okay, so listeners, I'm sorry. The name of the book is Unleash Your Crazy Winds: How to Overcome Infertility Led to Business Success. So when I look at it, I'm like, oh, this doesn't have nothing to do with me. I'm not trying to have any more kids. I'm good. But I tell you, this book is full of so much patience, determination, passion, love, hard work. Like, these are things that you need, period, in a business, period. And you open it up in your out of your, into your personal life, and a lot of people love it. I mean, your reviews on the book on Amazon.com are fantastic. So the book is good. I don't want to tell stories about it because I highly suggest that people purchase it. But where did it all begin? I don't want to give any hints because I have a feeling I'm just going to spill all the tea.
Well, the thing about it is every one of us has a story.
Yeah.
Everyone who's listening, everyone who will listen, has a story. And I think everyone should start from where they are at. Mm-hmm. Too many times we're trying to achieve big things, which is great. Mm-hmm. But you have to start from somewhere. And every one of us has a starting point, and it isn't necessarily pretty. Sometimes you start from a place of defeat, and you take baby steps into success. Oftentimes our stories are not as colorful as we would like them to be as the stories that we read. But the thing is, if we're honest about our story and can use our pain to change and to help others, it really makes a difference. I think one of the things that made me write the book was I felt that women who were in my box at the time had no voice. Mm-hmm. I found myself in a situation of infertility, and I had never crossed my mind that I would ever get there, and I'd never read a book by anyone who was there.
Right.
Because I felt no one understood how I felt because people didn't talk about it. It wasn't the kind of thing you talked about at the water cooler.
Right.
Right. I kind of wanted to give it a voice, but I also wanted people to see that I used the challenge that I had, the lessons I learned in the challenge I faced, I turned around to use in another arena. So one of the things I say in the book is this: life will deal you a set of cards, period. Everyone gets a set of cards. Now, you can choose to play the cards you've been given, or, like me, you can change the game, change the rules, play the new game, and play to win, and I won. Right. Oftentimes when people have been given cards, given a situation, a circumstance, where they're born, where they're from, the color of their skin, whatever it might be, and they feel already as they receive those cards that, oh, my goodness, I'm at a disadvantage. Mm-hmm. Right. And so because of that, they'll put the cards down and declare that they've already lost the game before they've even started. But as I say, you look at your cards and you think, gosh, this is impossible. It's impossible for me to win this game. that this is my position on the word impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Impossible is a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given rather than explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. It's not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. And if you look at the word close enough, impossible reads, I'm possible.
That's right.
That's
Possible.
what you decide from. Yes, if you look at the word close enough, it says I'm possible. So in the impossible is an I'm possible. So that's why I started. I started from an impossible vantage point with cards that I thought were dealt me that were impossible because I didn't have anything to do with it. But I thought rather than lay down and play dead, I'm like, no. See this game? I'm going to change the rules of this game. I'm going to play the cards I've got. And you know what? I'm going to play to win. And I won. And then I wrote the book to explain the lessons that I learned in the area of infertility. And then whatever your situation is, whatever lessons you've learned, you can transfer that knowledge to another arena in your life, in studies, in education, in business, and win.
That's awesome. It's like in your book, you no doesn't mean stop. You know, it seemed like, I mean, you could have stopped many times, you know, in reading your book. You could have given up so many times, but the no meant for you to keep going, to keep pushing.
When I hear the word no, I'm like, oh, yeah. Because it tells me that you heard me.
Right.
For you to say no to me, it means you listened to my request and then turned me down, right?
Right.
If you didn't respond to me at all, it would mean that you didn't care and didn't listen. For you to say no, you heard me. And just the fact that you heard me means to me, when you say no, it means, maybe you don't quite have enough information. Or maybe this is not the right time. Or maybe I need to get stronger in my ask. Or maybe I need to get some more information or education myself and come back and represent my situation.
Yeah.
So when I hear no, oh my goodness, I am so excited because I feel like, okay, you heard me. And if you say no to me, it means that I can come back again. And there's been situations in my life in the area of fundraising where I've asked someone for some funds for the center. The first year they said no. Then I thought, okay, fine, get some more information, come back again. Second year, no. Then I kind of retwigged things and asked in a different season, no.
Right.
Then the fourth time they said, okay, what do you want? And I thought, ta-da! In fact, now that you mention it, She Day, I had contacted the organizers a couple of years back, and they asked me to keep in touch. The lady said to me, call me in June. I called her on June 1st. She said, well, we're still in planning stage. Call me in September. I called her September 1st. She said, well, we're still organizing. Well, and what I did is I sent her articles of all the things we're doing in community every single month. On She Day, after I spoke, she said, you know what, the reason why you got this spot was because you were persistent. So that's how I got to speak at that event.
Awesome. Consistency. That's good. That's good. Do you see yourself writing another book? Because I feel like there's so much more.
Yes, I do see myself writing another. In fact, I'm actually working on a couple of things right now. Okay. I love writing because it's a great opportunity to bring people into your world, and you can educate people many, many, many times over. In fact, I recently got a visit from somebody, from a Brazilian young lady, who said she had to track me down and find me because of what I wrote in that book. So
wow.
I'm looking forward to writing the project for sure. It was quite phenomenal. She was intrigued and had to find me. So yes, I'm in the middle of writing another book, but also to a wider audience.
Yeah. So
more for corporate and non-corporate.
Okay.
A wider audience. I wanted to share my personal story first. I did that in my first book, and now it's literally lessons that I've learned that I think can carry to life. So yeah.
Absolutely. It's it's a great read. If you look at my book, it's like highlighted and it has Post-its in it and everything. And when someone else is looking at the cover of the book, they're like, "Wow, are you trying to have a baby?" I'm like, I see all these Post-its and stuff hanging out of them. I'm like, no, you got to understand there's so much, motivation behind what this person went through, and that she changed her story simply for God's glory, because God wants us to share his glory with all, through the ugly and through the bad. But at the end of the day, you got the victory. And so it's such a infectious book, and I hope to get some copies out to my first 5 listeners who inquire about your book. I want to get some books out to you as well. So I totally respect your mission. I totally respect what you do. You have been an integral part of my life. I don't want to make this talk too personal, but you're such a blessing. You're visionary, skilled, and it's just natural for you to see bigger than big in everybody that you speak to. Like, it's amazing. And so I want all of our listeners to follow you on all your social handles, if you would like to share those, or websites to learn more about any upcoming.
Find me on www.vickyolantundun.com.
Okay.
You can find me at LinkedIn just by basically going by my name, Vicki Olantundun, and Facebook the same thing, Vicki Olantundun, and Twitter the same thing. It's just my name basically.
Okay.
And I will say this: one of the things I want to encourage your leaders, and I call your listeners leaders, because they absolutely are. You can lead in whatever space that you're in. Whatever you do, don't forget to give back to others who are less fortunate than you. Whatever you do it because you're great at it, but do it and influence your community. Influence your community and the people around you. Because when you get to the finish line, if you get there by yourself, there's no joy. If you get to the finish line and everyone in the stands are clapping and all of that, that's because there are people there. And each one reach one. You want to get to the finish line and have a whole crowd cheering, a whole crowd clapping. And that's what community does.
Right.
But if you're just there by yourself, all by yourself, just doing it yourself, no one knows, no one's there helping, you get to the finish line, and then what happens? Nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
It's all about community, all about reaching back, all about doing what you can, but you can turn around and reach someone else who isn't where you are at.
Right.
And it will literally make a difference in your life and the life of the other person you reached out to help.
That's good. That's good. What's next for you, Vicki? I know you said a book is coming. You're working on some things at the moment. Do you have a schedule of where people can possibly come and hear you speak, or are you doing any videos or recordings online yet?
I'm in the process right now of doing a few videos. There's something I'm working on called VVox, which is Vicki's voice.
Oh, okay.
Which is literally going to be daily motivation, and just a couple of minutes. If you can do 140 letters on Twitter, then we can do 140 seconds on like an internet radio kind of a thing. So I'm working on that right now, so that I can touch people's lives just in the morning, just a couple minutes, to change your day, change the direction of your day.
Right.
And looking forward to working on some things in the future where I can do some videos and create a platform where I can communicate with others. A lot of people want to talk to me. Whenever I go for events and I speak, people want to talk to me all the time. And so creating an avenue for me right there to do that. So I'm working on that this summer. So I'm for sure over this summer, everything on the website will change where there'll be a lot of interaction. I'll be able to kind of put on an event, but also create an avenue where I can speak to listeners and they can speak to me back.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
That
is awesome. That would be awesome. I'm going to leave you with one question, and I'm sure our listeners will want to know as well, and so do I. But what is happiness to you? When you hear that word, happiness, what is it to you?
What is the word happiness to me?
Yes.
Happiness to me really is happenings, because it's happenings that make you smile, that make you excited. And
Right.
for me, happiness is making happenings for myself and others. I live in an amazing community, and we live in an amazing world. And to think that I can make something happen for others around me that will change their lives, that brings me happiness. Making happenings for others that will absolutely reward them, change their world, and ultimately change mine. That's what the word happiness does for me. And it's not just a smile. It's really making change happening by making things happen for others around me.
Awesome. Awesome. Great response. I got chills. That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, Vicki, thank you so much for being on Conversations Podcast. It is such a pleasure to have you on. I would love to have you back when your new projects start coming out, books and all that good stuff. Yes, we definitely want to stay connected because you are a true blessing to me, and I just want to share that with everybody else. At first, I'm like, no, I don't want to share her, but I have to. You're so infectious, and I have grown so much just by listening to you and reading your book and following you on social medias and all of that good stuff. So thank you again for being on the show. For my listeners, if you have any questions or any feedback that you would like to give, feel free to send me an email. My email is at the bottom there. And again, thank you for thank you for being on the show, Vicki. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carla. All the best.
Bye.